Hello, and welcome to the second free webinar with the title The Wisdom Within 70 Access to Your Eternity. And I will open the energy, the collaboration with the new area field of consciousness and you who will like to participate, and just share the link. So, hope you'll find me here, and looking forward to open the energy with you and see what will come through. I work as a channel for the energy and words as well. Mostly the energy and the connection, actually. Welcome. Good evening. Yes, thank you. I have to find the group. Here and there and everywhere. Just sharing so it's easy for everybody. So, here we go. In the end of 2024, we had a global opening in the mutual field of consciousness, a global opening to 7D access. When it opens globally, it means that the potential of this state of consciousness becomes available for us, becomes available in our everyday life, and especially becomes available when we are focusing and when we use our intention to reach states of consciousness and to search for peace and the quiet space within. Opens the access to what we are here will call eternity. We call it eternity because we carry within our DNA memory field. Each and every one of us carry connections throughout the universe, fields of consciousness, to the consciousness that gives meaning to us, the consciousness that supports us into our reality. The code, the PIN code is thriving. So whatever makes us thriving, whatever gives us better possibility to be where we are, what we are, who we are, is what's accessible. This accessibility opens to everybody through a reflection, through a complexion in the consciousness. So how we are carrying it in, how it brings in the color of reality, how it brings in the composure of our reality. It's created in our consciousness that's carried and coded in our DNA memory field. Today, we will open to the availability that's just opened 2 days ago in our mutual field of consciousness, an availability to use the 7D access to create a lesser disturbed connection with the consciousness through the connections throughout the universe. Actually, availability to carry our universal consciousness arrived in 2024, and in 2025 it will be brought in through our conscious collaboration and our conscious choice. We create so many choices, we make so many choices without a thought, without a conscious meeting with it. The choices without a conscious meeting with it will have lesser meaning and lesser power. 5 years ago, the non-conscious choices was equally as strong as the conscious choices, and before 2012, actually the non-conscious choices were stronger, has more power than the conscious choices. It has created a reality that is mostly created by non-consciousness. With our access to our eternity through the 7D access, we will begin to create conscious consciousness. Not only the ones that search for it, not only the ones that's working with it and working for it, but each and every one of us. The supports come through our collaboration with technology. Our usage of technology creates a consciousness that creates much more conscious choices. The choice to click on something, the choice to choose what you will use your time and your available in your consciousness to. That's conscious choices. Conscious choices that's available to us through our devices, technology. When we use these conscious choices with our devices, with our technology, it automatically will begin to mirror into our conscious choices in our everyday life. In our everyday life, where we don't think it makes a difference, and for sure as well when we know it makes a difference. Breathe. Sense your body and enter the energy by choice. Choosing it. Stepping into this field, this space, this room that we create in our togetherness. With our intention, we connect together with a 7D level, and the availability is brought to us through the new era field of consciousness created by the usage of technology, available to everybody that use technology in their everyday life. And it's not about how much you use it, because the carriage is mutual. We carry the connection and the field for each other. So the ones that use it most carry it in one way, and the one that uses it the least carried it in another way, and then everybody in between carries the connection in different ways. And everybody participates, everybody brings a leverage to this conscious capacity, this conscious availability. Sense where you are right now. Breathe and sense your body, your mood, your emotional state of being right now. The body at the same time. The energy, the mood, the body at the same time. Use the intention to agree upon the support that's brought to us through the mutual field of consciousness, the new era type. It's clear, pure, true. It mirrors you into yourself in love and compassion. And you're not striving to reach compassion and love. It opens from within. Through your eternity, through your connection, through your DNA memory field, throughout the universe, your possibility to be love, compassion, opens by itself because you allow it by choice. Since everything and anything in your body, in your emotional state, your mood, your sense of the energy, the frequencies, is your availability, your access to be love, compassion, opens naturally. Stay focused as good as you can by connection to your body. Allow it to be a flow, a move, a small shift, something flowing quietly. Going from being lesser to being more. As it opens from within, without a struggle, without a riddle to be solved, just naturally. As a flower that opens when it's time. Breathe, soft, deep. Sense the shift. Curiously aware, observing. Something comes, something goes in your bodily experience. With a bio intention, we accept the support. Observe if anything is shifting without describing it. Not dipping into it, just allow it to be a presence. Focus, observing, sensing the body. Connect through the body. Allow it to open from within. Sensing yourself inside, from inside and out. And perhaps sense this shift into the deeper connection. Easy, naturally. The silence opens. The quietness. When the silence completes itself, it creates clarity and what you could call multi-dimensional intuition, where everything connects and opens a portal within to the wisdom that you're carrying. In everyday life experiences, it's not magical like a portal. It's the sense of being aligned, being connected, being timed, sense of synchronicity inside and out, being clever automatically without doing anything for it. A kind of density opens in your energy, and to some immediately it will be recognized as something difficult. Just be, allow it, and then sense how this acknowledgement of something difficult, subtle but yet strong change, restore and automatic calibrate your inner connection. Release perplexion. Here it comes. 7D access from within. Curiously observing how it arrives in your body, your bodily experience. Small things, subtle or strong, huge, allow it. Something comes, something goes. Just shows something is happening. Our 3D consciousness catch and grabs things and put it in boxes, organizing things. With the 7D axis, we go into the continuum, the consciousness capacity to open and connect, and without a compromise, meeting the non-disturbed reality. And when doing so, your foundation of consciousness becomes a movement. And like a surfer surfing on waves, the surfer is standing still, balanced in the same position, but it's carried by the waves. The 7D axis in your consciousness allows your consciousness to ride, balance the waves of the bodily experience of being here. That stillness creates a quiet space, riding the waves. And that quiet space, riding the waves, carries the access to the wisdom within. Just being here as it opens together, create a stronger field for connection and support. The new era field of consciousness is the mutual field of consciousness of Earth people, without fighting, without disturbance, where we are uniting and our consciousness support itself and each other to a higher, stronger, and better version. Without hierarchies. Difficult to imagine as an existence. So let's not go that way. Let's take another path. Just going to this quiet space and allow the wisdom to flow from within. Support our consciousness to grow in our everyday life. Support us to find our consciousness that carries itself, creates more reality that suits us better. Makes sense. Meets reality with truth and presence. The 3D consciousness that boxes and sorts everything. Use it to try to create a reality that's bending to a will, subconscious or consciously. 7D axis release this bending of our reality, and instead it Instead, it enhances our comprehension of the reality and thus the coordination and the collaboration. When consciousness is bending reality, it's never bending it the same way. So it creates like subcoordinates, or reality that's described by subcoordinates that's not fixed with a true reality. So you could say a 3D consciousness reach the 7D to 13D availability by creating different bended realities that's not in the same system, that's not in the same frame, not within the same coordinate systems. This support that opens a couple of days ago support our consciousness to be connected in the same frame, the same coordinate system. You don't need to understand this, no need to comprehend it, but some will. To some, it will be, now I understand. If you don't, allow it. Just sense it from within. As it opens into your knowingness, your recognition, your reference will be the recognition from within. Not the understanding of any words I'm bringing in. It's not important. To some, it's a support. If it's not, don't allow it to disturb you. Don't allow it to bend your reality, to try to understand it if you're not. Allow it. And allow the understanding that comes from within to bring itself forward. Support you well. Breathe. Being in the quiet space, riding the waves. This is a natural state for an undisturbed consciousness. And the availability to this is open in a mutual field of consciousness in these days. Now the gate opens to the wisdom within. And to some, there's an instant access. The instant access will show itself if you think about something that gives you struggle from within, something that disturbs your thoughts, your mind, something that you can't find a solution to, something you sense that you don't understand, it is just on the edge of understanding. That would be good choices to look at them, to bring them in. These different things that you take care of, that you have to choose, that you have experiences of, that you have a sense of need for understanding what's going on here. If you bring such a situation in, to some that's already here and will be bringing you a new understanding, kind of a new reference, a sense of broader perspective, more wise. If nothing happening at all, if you're not experiencing this change in a more wise, into a more wise version, then see it as an experience as well. And then you can sense the next couple of days, especially if you bring yourself into this peace, this quiet space, and then bring in something fresh, something that happened that day, and see what it brings. And perhaps observe yourself in different situations that are not so strongly activating your system, and see if something comes by itself. Understanding, comprehending, comprehension, like automatic deliverance of solutions from within. Be an adventurous and search for it, and tolerate that it's not functioning like already. It's the difficult part of working with this 7D axis and the growth of consciousness, the shift from dysfunctionality to functionality. And you might say, but I'm functioning fine. And most of you are. But the consciousness struggle, the consciousness functionality, the consciousness carrying a dysfunctionality that disturb itself and block this availability to the wisdom from within. It's a 3D activation from our survival system that has opened to the higher reflections and closing the capacity down. But in just these years and these days, it opens through a mutual field, through a usage of technology. And please feel free to share or to put up some questions in the comments. And I will use the channel capacity to open your sharing and your questions. What comes to myself when we together reach this 7D access is how easy I'm closing down to my emotions. How easy I kind of volume down my emotional experience. And that it's a loss. I see how this loss create a lesser connection to my emotions, and my emotions bringing me into the experience of my reality, the waves. And when I'm closing down the waves, the emotions, it's my system that believes that it's necessary to keep the balance, but actually it disturbs my balance. So to recognize that emotions is waves, and to allow the waves to come and go, brings me somewhere, and where it brings me is what shows me what the emotion is about. I try it, I use it, but I forget about it, and now I re-know it. And this re-knowing, to me, is how 7D-axis shows itself, and that the re-knowing is carried in with the capacity where I sense the availability of all my re-knowings, that then they connect and support my consciousness in carrying itself. And then when I have these experiences, it's so magical, and I'm so thrilled by it, and I'm so not overwhelmed, but full. And it brings me hope, because if I sense this capacity and I sense my consciousness not disturbing itself, and this is growing in each and every one of us, then it brings me hope for humanity. And we have a sharing here. I'm already sensing a more curious accessibility, or a more curious go to a difficult situation in my life. The fight with it is releasing itself. It's wonderful. And a question here, and thank you for the sharing. And a question here: is this related to the medbed technology that supports our brains in expanding our responsibility to the more primitive automatic brain reactions? You could say it's connected because I work with the medbed technology, and this is energy carriage. This is the conscious energy carriage of the medbed technology. So it's energy technology. It's not a physical technology. To those of you who doesn't know the work I'm carrying in with this, the way it's connected with the 7D axis is that the ignition of the 7D axis in a consciousness opens our capacity to bring this energy technology into the system and to be carried there. And the medbed capacity that we bring in there is a special support to grow our carriage of our consciousness. So you could say that the medbed technology is a special activation, cosmic activation, to support our consciousness to grow into the 7D axis as a natural composure, a natural way of being, a natural ground structure for our consciousness system. And it has so many evolutionary aspects. So until now, the sense of this energy technology that supports the 7D axis and the growth of the consciousness from 7D to 13D, it's showing that a lot of the things that we work with and for as energy workers and healers, it's something that everybody carries naturally. Maybe not, you could say, the energy worker functionality and the healing functionality, but the energy work and the healings ignites our system to a better state, a higher functionality. And the medbed capacity opens that in our own version and support the growth of it by our normal sustainability system that's carried like as a natural thing when we sleep. And our systems break down to 3D that have been here until 2012 has disturbed our own system's capacity so much that it's, to some extent, is a burden. So the power of a system to restore itself, to heal itself, to connect with wisdom to create has been so disturbed that it has been a burden to a system. The medbed technology is especially supporting a system to release this destructive burden version of carrying this capacity. As we here work directly with a natural connection with the 7D axis and our consciousness creation of communication with the wisdom from within. We do this in everyday version when we are thinking about what to do, when we use our intuition to remember what we could do or what we should bring. What is the first thing we should take care of? When we allow our consciousness to light of broadening out the view, open the view, the perspective, and allow our consciousness to sort things out and choose what should I begin with here. That's an everyday version of what this free webinar is activating or working with. So there's a huge relation between the medbed energy technology, carriage in our own energy system, our own energetic field of consciousness, and this axis. So thank you for the question, and making much sense. Hope the answer makes sense. Sometimes they become so long and so swirling around, and I know it makes sense to me, but I'm kind of listening to the channeled answer. So I see the visions, I see it from within without the words at the same time as the channeled words is brought in. So sometimes I lose the sense of the actual questions or the actual answer to the question if it's making sense. So please tell me if it's not. Then we will do it again. Thank you for the questions and the sharing. The difference also is coming here, that the medbed technology is kind of a series, it's the beginning of a series of consciousness technologies that I'm working with the cosmic team to bring into our reality. It might end up being creation of actual technologies. I will not be a part of that. If it makes sense, this cosmic team will bring the idea to the people that will create the actual technologies. And not only this one, but also other types of technologies as the medbed. At the same time, it's used to create supportive structures in a mutual field of consciousness. And to work with this access, it's difficult. As a channel, as a teacher, I really need to be pure and not disturbed, and to be available, not only through the teachings and the activations, but also like every day, all the time, consciously, continuously, to be able to carry the connection in a stability and with a higher and deeper version that allows your system to recognize it individually, because these cosmic technologies, they're individually carried in. So it's a recognition in your system that activates it. It's not something from outside, it's something that's already there. But it's still brought in through the memory field from different technologies in different areas of the universe or civilizations. You could say they carry the potential from the future consciousness as what we're working with here. That's where our evolution is already here. So this is the new era field of consciousness and the capacity inner consciousness for everybody now. It can be difficult to find it. It can be difficult to recognize it. It can be difficult to be clear and not disturbed by a 3D activation of a consciousness and a disturbance, but it's here. So the difference between that we're working with here and the medbed is that this is now for everybody, and the medbed technology is a future possibility for everybody to carry. The same way as this 7D access to eternity is carried in now, these months, the medbed technology is a future possibility. Yes. Okay. Thank you for the support from the cosmic team that's just supported to answer the question. Yeah. As a channel, as a teacher, it's important with such questions that you're bringing here to ensure that we use the confusion to create clarity. Yes. Interesting. Thank you. It's said here. Thank you so much. And perhaps sense with these sharings and these questions, if they opens differently, as we are gathered here, opening the 7D access through our quiet space and listening to this communication. Do you have another experience with this, how it opens, how it responds from within? It doesn't have to be, but to ask the question, to open your consciousness, to allow it to catch the change. That's the gate within. The 3D consciousness that fix things and put it into boxes on shelves, fixing it. We'll bring it in and put it together as crosswords, finding the meaning to it, and recreating the same level of consciousness with a new understanding, but in the same level with no expansion. The capacity for expansion and the availability for expansion, healthy expansion of consciousness is here. So to kind of meet our 3D consciousness and to allow it to re-evaluate a meeting with life differently. That creates the inner space for evolution into this version where the expansion is a new crossword experience. It's like going from crosswords to virtual reality in your consciousness capacity, if it makes sense. And the sharing here, I sense a more open connection and access, meeting with life right now. Thank you for sharing. That's such a strong recognition of change. Thank you. And another sharing here. So peaceful. Thank you so much. I also sense such a feeling of everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Beautiful sharing as well. Thank you. And even in a world where everything is not fine, when we can find the space from within where we know everything shall be fine, it's not being delusional. It's actually about finding the reality that not bending itself. Then there will always be a point in our reality where everything will be fine. It's kind of abstract, it's kind of philosophical, but it creates this capacity or this space where you're riding the waves instead of being carried and thrown by the waves. Beautiful. Thank you. The energy begins to slowly anchoring the energy work. And in this beginning of the year 2025, I've been waiting for the messages, the communication about my work in 2025. And it's just beginning to open. It's a little bit difficult when it comes after the year has begun. But that's how it works to work within the new era field of consciousness with the cutting edge of consciousness. So I see it as a kind of the difficulties, but also the mysteries, and I love it as well. Just want to share with you that I had message about, you could say, the overall perspective of the different areas that I will open in the work in English in 2025. It says that it will work open in 4 different areas, where it will have a headline with prophecies, teachings, your teachings, energetic technologies, and healings. So I'm looking forward to go into preparation of how this will be delivered as a possibilities for you to attend in different ways. We will always have these different version of free energy work, free small teachings, webinars, and full moon energetic updates, and different things shared in my YouTube channel, The Word of Consciousness, as well. Allowing an access to everyone. And then there will be some availability to different things where you can choose to attend, and there will be an exchange. Sharing here. So blessed to have found you. I love your peaceful, grounded energy. Much love. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm touched. And my heart is smiling with this sharing. Thank you. You are vibrant. Thank you. It's a channeling, actually. Thank you for sharing your sense of it. So the field that's channeling the energy in brings in this vibrant state of being. I love to be in it with you. Yes. It's so soothing and so giving as a channel and as the one who's joining in. Thank you for putting words upon it. I know it's not something everybody is sensing. We sense it differently. and it's different how it gives up something, and every ways is equally good. Yeah, but having this mutual experiences, it's always beautiful. So thank you for sharing it. And just as the energy was rising in the beginning, now it's landing. And the landing of the energy work is perhaps even more necessary and important than the rising of the energy in the energy work. This landing in the frequencies in our energy, bringing it into earthly vibrations, is what's anchoring it and supports our consciousness to refine in this, whatever you will call it, this support, this access in our everyday life versions. So the landing in our earthly vibrations call upon in our everyday the recognition of what this means without a struggle, without a choice, actually, as I sense it. In my experience, it's like internal synchronicity. Landing, getting warm here. One of my signs of the physical activation, also as I see it in my inner visions, it's activating our memory field in the DNA. How we sense it is really different on or from day to day and from time to time and from person to person. So just because I sense it as being warm, it's not a more strong, more reliable sign than anything else. To recognize our own signs and also allow it not to be a proof, but a sign. Sense the shift. No, not the shift. Sense the difference between a proof and a sign. Working with a growing, evolving energy system and our consciousness that have been so low, so broken. We can't create proof, but signs. And in our inner reality, or meeting with the self or reality, with time it becomes proof. Not something we need to prove for others, but having the same experiences again and again creates proofs to ourselves within things you can't measure. To create the experience again and again, being observing, catching it when something comes by. Then you do your job. Then you do your part of the work. Also, catch when you're not at peace, when there's no quietness. And when you're not at peace, there's no quietness, you can't rely upon what's bringing in. You're in the waves. And the waves will throw you around, and you're meeting with yourself, and what comes by will be confused. Knowing this and allow it not to show anything at all, not searching for the sign, then you support yourself in bringing yourself in when you're aligned, and then catch the signs. If you try to catch the signs when you're in the waves, you'll be more confused. Just a little trick. The energy landing here, and if you liked it, if it's bring you something, please share. And you can find me in my YouTube channel and my Facebook page and here and there. Thank you so much for being here online live and replay as well. Loving being together in this new possibilities, and the connection and the collaboration supports us when we are in a difficult reality, and we are. So thank you for this moment in time, space and energy. And the sharing here, I also sense a deeper importance of simplicity. And I can't quite describe it, but keep it simple. Yeah, that's actually, as I sense it, it's a sign of your connection with the wisdom from within, and that you're not needing to be able to describe it to use it, and actually not being able to describe it right now yet is a sign of the expansion. Thank you for sharing that as well. Hi there and goodbye. Hi there and goodbye. You can see it from the beginning, the energy is just as strong in the replay. And if you have any questions and sharing, I will come back and answer, either in writing here in the comments as well, or in the next video live session. So hope to see you again, and thank you for the meeting. Thank you so much for sharing the wisdom and joy and love. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So much appreciating the meeting, appreciating your serious connection and everybody's attending version. Thank you, everybody.